I received a question from Sanvrit Das. So Sanvrit Das, hello. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to leave a question here. Thank you. And you say, hello again. What do you think is better, sharing the knowledge we have for films or sharing the love we have for it? This can be a general question for anything, but thought of asking this in such a way. Also, which is that Criterion film that you would suggest everyone to start with for their collection? Wow. Okay. These are great questions. So, let's see. Your first question is, what do you think is better, sharing the knowledge we have for films or sharing the love we have for it? Wow, very interesting question. I suppose my answer might seem like cheating. And if it is, then I really apologize. I really, really apologize. But I think we might be able to say both, or to be even more specific, sharing knowledge, whatever that means, right? Knowledge. And I understand that knowledge is, it can be different for different people, and what the focus or topic of the particular, say, base of knowledge is. I understand that, or the context, etc. So sharing knowledge that one has for films, I think that's the key, because actually through that I can identify links to some kind of emotional attachment to cinema. Another way to say that would be love for cinema. And so sharing knowledge, I think, is another way to share one's love of cinema. And also, the sharing of knowledge by someone means that on the other side of that equation, one wants to hear the knowledge of someone else. And so, why does one want to hear that? Well, maybe the speaker and the listener both share a same common love for cinema. And so, the sharing of knowledge, I think, has implicit within it the idea of sharing of love or some kind of emotional connection with the work. And so that's my way of trying to answer the question. Now, if I seem like I'm cheating, I apologize, but I think that maybe that might be my way of approaching your question, which is great. And then the second question is, which is that Criterion film that you would suggest everyone to start with for their collection? Really, really tough, because this is another thing where Criterion's collections titles are so varied. It's actually a very varied selection of titles, and so what might be really great for some people might not be other people's cups of tea, and so it's quite a difficult question to answer. But if I had to say, maybe it would be Seven Samurai, Shichinin no Samurai, the film by Akira Kurosawa, because it seems to, for a lot of people, represent a type of window into the world of Japanese cinema from the 1950s. It also represents an example, a prime example of the works of Kurosawa. It also represents the way in which that film is regarded by a number of critical and popular circles, even now and throughout the history of cinema. And also, it's a great release, or it's an example of another great release by Criterion, in my view, in terms of the packaging, the design, and also the presentation. And so I think in those ways, I think it's maybe an overall great place to start, and it's also very exciting. And so one of the things that I really I really enjoy is hearing people's reactions to watching films like Seven Samurai for the first time, and once in a while I do get those comments. I'm so thrilled about it. I feel like I'm almost living vicariously through those comments, and I realize that that kind of excitement that can be generated by that film that was made back in the day, but still holds so much power. That is the power of cinema, and that would be a great place to start, I think. And so, yes, which is that Criterion film that you would suggest everyone to start with for their collection? Maybe for me it would be Seven Samurai, but I know that for other people, other people might have different responses. So, and it's also tough too, because maybe if I answered it tomorrow, my answer would be different. But right now, I would say yes, Seven Samurai But what about you, my friends? Do you have any thoughts about these great questions from Sanvrit Das? So what do you think is better, sharing knowledge or sharing love about cinema? And the second question is, which is that Criterion film that you would suggest everyone start with? So if you have any thoughts about these, my friends, please feel free to let me know or let us know in the comment section below. And once again, Sanvrit Das, thank you so much, and I hope you're well, and cheers.